Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning back in. Glad you made it. Guys, I've already talked about the kinds of women that you should avoid at all costs. Run for the hills. Avoid like the plague, guys. So in this video, I want to get into the kinds of women that you should choose for long-term relationships. Now boys, these kinds of women are going to be naturally submissive to you. And you have to understand that they're going to expect you to lead, not let you lead. That's a lot of the problem that a lot of men and women have today, is that the woman just lets him lead. That's already headed for disaster. So she's going to be naturally submissive to you. She's going to understand that you're the one that implements a direction, chooses where to go, what to do. Now, whether she came from a good family, a healthy, functioning family, which is typically the factor that determines if she's going to be viable for a long-term relationship, or that she's actually done the work to heal herself to be a good, viable partner. All of the crazy hair and all the crazy piercings is a really good sign that she's not fit. And tons of makeup. Absolute tons of makeup. In my experience, tons of jewelry, tons of makeup, colored hair, that insinuates that they have some kind of self-esteem issue, which means that they have a problem within themselves. They don't like themselves. And we all know what happens when people don't like themselves, especially women. If they're unhappy, they're going to make sure you're unhappy. If they see that you're happy, they will do everything that they can to ruin it, whether intentionally or subconsciously. Good, healthy women don't do that. They understand that they are your peace. If you've had a rough day at work, or if you've had a rough day outside the home, when you come inside the home, she's going to do everything that she can within her power to make sure that everything's okay with you. She understands that if you go down, she goes down with you. She understands that she depends on you, that you are the foundation of the family that you guys are trying to cultivate. And whatever direction you're heading in, she's not going to get in your way. I brought up Find 404 last night, and his woman was one of those women. Now, there are some things that she could have worked on, like the way that she challenged him, by saying, I don't think that this is a good avenue for you to go down. However, she did eventually come around to support him. And that's what a good woman does, supports her man. It's understandable how she challenged him like that, because it did come to a point to where he was destroying his body, essentially. But the thing is, the human body can take so much. In my military service, I've seen service members who have torn their ACLs and still ran a 9-minute mile and a half. I've seen it happen. The human body can be pushed very far and still keep going. And this guy, he still did that 100-day challenge. He still completed it. He pushed through his limits. But she understood that. She saw that, and she still supported it. You see, we understand that women are emotional. That's not going to change. So, she's going to be emotional at times. She's going to be angry at times. That's understandable. She's going to yell at you at times. People snap, people have bad days. That's understandable. But it's not something that she's doing to intentionally harm you in any way. Matter of fact, she does whatever she can, if that happens, to fix the issue. She will sit down and have a conversation with you and directly communicate with you what's going on. But that's also where you have to be a leader. That's where you have to have that authority, that communication, those communication skills, that direction, that initiative, like I have been telling you guys about. And you have to meet her when she challenges you. You have to meet her with that direction, with that guidance, that authority. And look, when I was talking about direction, guys, when you start, the only thing that really matters is that you start. You start somewhere and you go. And then direction can be fixed just as long as you're going somewhere. There's no forward, there's no backwards, there's really no setbacks if you get back up and you keep going and you come out on top. And that's exactly what happened with fine 404. He came out on top. And I can guarantee you he gained so much respect from his woman. Guys that push themselves past their breaking point to better themselves and prove a point to others. That's a leader. And those kinds of men are irresistible. Irresistible for women. She will expect you to lead her, and she will follow. A lot of the times, whatever you say. Now, these kinds of women will also have their own identity, their own personality, of course, because you don't want someone who's exactly like you. She's a little bit of a homebody. If she's going out, she's always going out with you. She's not around any other men other than her family. She's not going out to clubs, not going out to bars. She's not going out anywhere where she could potentially be in a situation where she's unfaithful. She's not working. And if she is working, the only reason she's working is to help you. A lot of families now can barely survive off of 2 incomes, let alone 1. But she understands that she kind of needs to pick up the pace a little bit. Then again, if she has to pick up the pace, it just means that you're not a financially viable man to lead the family. And that's most men these days. Relationships are becoming a luxury. People have been priced out of relationships. We can thank feminism for that and the elites that supported it. As soon as women became taxable, that was more income for the government. So now it takes both men and women. But the morals are aligned, the values are aligned. She respects you as a man. She understands the value that a man brings. Again, whether this was taught or not, do be careful for the family function. That is incredibly important. If her father treats her mother poorly, or if she didn't have a father to begin with, I'm not saying it's all cases, but it's typically the indicator that she's going to be just as toxic as her mother is. If her mother didn't do any kind of work at all to heal from that situation. But it's very important today that you find a woman that is functioning properly within a healthy family. That's more than likely going to happen for you overseas. Because boys, over here in the West, it's extremely hard to find people who have been raised in functional families. I don't even think most people are coming from functional families. Mother and father, healthy relationship. But also, look, she understands that you come first. She understands that your relationship comes first and the kid secondary. Why? Because I've always told you that men are the foundation. And she understands that. If something goes wrong with you, something goes wrong with the family. She will take care of the home. She will make the house a home, not a prison. She won't expect you to have a man cave. She won't encourage you to have a man cave because the whole house should be your man cave. You shouldn't have one room just dedicated to you, but the whole house. Guys, and she's attracted to you. And she stays attractive for you, right? Because you met her at a certain point in her life when you found her attractive. And the whole point of staying in that relationship is that doesn't change. The whole point of performing accordingly is not straying from that moment in time that you found each other attractive. A lot of the reason why people get divorced is because they get complacent. They quit working on themselves. They gain a bunch of weight. They get irritable. They get depressed, anxious even. And a lot of times they take it out on each other, whether it's money, whether it's the fact that they did gain weight, the fact that the other doesn't find them attractive. They take it out on each other. But she understands that she cannot do that at all, or it's grounds for termination. But she is attracted to you. At any chance she gets, she'll knock them boots with you. She wants you any time she can get you. You see, when a woman respects you and she sees you as a man, and I mean truly as a man, bro, it's not going to be before long before she will be jumping your bones. But she has to see you as a man. So you guys have to perform just as much as she is. Both of you have the burden of performance. Both of you do. The thing is that the men have more of the burden because they're not just responsible for themselves, but for the whole family. Women are responsible for themselves. Well, and when it comes to child rearing, they're also responsible for the children to a certain point. At a certain point, whether man or woman growing up, the man starts to take over and instill discipline and integrity and all of those good traits. But that's for another video. So again, a healthy woman is going to understand that she has to perform, that there is a burden of performance there that she cannot lack on. Elsewise, there is a problem there, and there will be a conversation, and if nothing is fixed, then that's the end of the relationship. I want to bring up a story. I've talked about this story before, but it's the only one that I can really think of right offhand. There was I believe he was a CEO, and he worked with his wife before they got together, or his girlfriend. I'm sorry, it wasn't his wife. And they had a great relationship. The thing is that he didn't want to mix business and pleasure, which is, something that you can't really get away from. You cannot separate work and home life. You can't do it. I digress. She eventually moved in. I can't remember if she started working for someone else or if she went into another division or something. I want to say, if I remember correctly, that she wasn't working for the company anymore because he was the one that was the breadwinner. This woman's sister wasn't doing so well, and she asked to move in, and they did. They let her move in. You never want to do this, so this is why you don't want to do this. Her sister started getting into her head and started implementing all of these woke bullshit thoughts, and this woman started to turn against her boyfriend. Well, he didn't like that too much. It came to a point to where he sat her down and he had a conversation. Then he said, look, I want you to move out, and I want you to take your sister with you. And they had a conversation for a little bit. He said, look, if you don't fix this, then you're out. And she did. She kicked her sister out. She understood that her sister was ruining her relationship. But it's not just the sister, you understand, it's the ideology. And this ideology has infected so many women. Men too. It's infected everybody. The problem is that it's only now that people are coming back onto this information that men and women used to know how to operate in relationships. And we're beginning to see the pendulum swing, but it's only for the men. Only the men are the ones that are really swinging the pendulum, and ever so slightly. More men are becoming conservative and more women are becoming liberal, or woke, I guess you can say. And that's not viable for relationships. Listen, there are more broken women here in the U.S. than there are healthy. And that's why you see so many men moving overseas. That's why I tell you that the more healthy women that you're going to find are going to be overseas. So you might want to look overseas. Understand this, boys. If you're marrying, or, which I don't recommend marriage at all, if you're going for a long-term committed relationship, which is what I do recommend, make sure that you guys are going to agree culturally. Because time has always shown us, throughout our history, that if there's a conflict of culture, there's going to be tension. When the colonists from Europe came over to North America, there was conflict. When the children of Israel moved in the Promised Land, there was conflict with the Amorites, the Hittites, the Moabites, and all those guys too. But that's the main point is that there's conflict culturally. So you have to be able to come to a compromise and agree on things. You understand it's not just one culture that you're building upon. It's two different that's combining together. Two different families, right, to become one. To kind of recap here, these are the kinds of women that you're looking for. Naturally submissive, that expects you to do your job, that will stay out of your way when you have initiative and direction, and will support you 100%. Now, will challenge you, of course, because women always will. You have to understand that they depend on you, so they're going to make sure that you're still doing your job, that you still have what it takes to lead. But they do it in a way that's respectful. they're already content in themselves and in the relationship. So they're more than happy to be that piece for you. She's going to do everything that she can to make sure that you're okay. She's going to take care of the home. She's going to cook. She's going to clean. When you guys have kids, if you guys have kids, she's going to understand that you come first. Because if you guys fall apart, the kids are going to fall apart. You see, kids watch and learn from their parents. So what they see their parents do, they're going to do later on in their life. That's why I'm having to undo so much from what I learned from my parents. I'm putting in the work to work on myself. Anyways, she's going to stay attracted for you, and she's going to stay attracted to you. She's going to want to have sex with you any chance that she can get, provided that you still perform as you should. She understands her burden of performance and understands the value that a man brings to her life. She's a little bit of a homebody. If she's going out, she's always going out with you. She's not around any other men other than her family, where she could potentially be in a situation where she's unfaithful. She's excited to be around in your presence, and she's humble. She appreciates just being around you. She's comforting, reassuring, nurturing. She understands her femininity, and she understands what it truly means to be emotionally intelligent, not just emotional. If I happen to miss anything, let me know. But this is pretty much the kinds of women that you want in your life for long-term committed relationships. Keep that in mind when you're looking for a woman. Remember, you're not just looking for a woman. You're looking for a good, healthy woman that operates within the relationship as she should. That being said, boys, if this video helped you out, please like and subscribe. As always, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, both up here and physically. Go lift, go self-improve. Get out there. Be better tomorrow than you were today. If you haven't went for a walk, go for a walk today. Then jog tomorrow. Help me continue to cultivate this community. Let's lift each other up, boys. That's the whole point of this channel. I don't have it all figured out, but let's figure it out together. Take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and I'll talk to you soon.